to invest in the new banana island called the Mayor of Housing.
Don't just learn from the internet to make money and become a better version of yourself. Learn from the internet and social media to make money and also create a better trend, narrative, and movement on the internet to make a better internet of itself.
By ACECHINA, I'm an expert global business solutions expert and your real estate success strategist known as the Mayor of Housing.
Today's topic says social media, a tool of reformation, sales, and growth. So the first fact you must know about social media is that technology has come to stay, and technology is the new money. Before the creation of money, there was trade by barter. Not everybody used money. When money became mainstream, the world became a financial universe. So technology is now as ubiquitous as money. So the way we live in a financial universe, we live in a technological universe. The second fact is that as we cannot escape money, we cannot escape technology. You know, no matter how holy you are, if you're a monk, you use money. If you are the Pope, you use money. If you are a Christian, you use money. Muslim, money. Cultist, money. Ritualist, money. Holy saint, money. Educated, money. Uneducated, money. There is nothing you can do in this financial universe without money. The same thing goes to technology. There's nothing you can do in this technological universe without technology. So it's an inescapable inevitability. Something you can't escape and something that must happen. That's what technology is. And statistics shows that 95% of people have smartphones or are connected to the internet. And 45% of people are online 24/7. Wake up by 3 a.m., 45% are online. 1 a.m. online. Morning, online. So you cannot online or offline the people that are online. Technology is inescapable. So to now help you, the best thing you have to do is to listen to what B.T. Barnum said something about money. He said, money is an excellent servant, but a terrible master. So like money, like technology. So if money is an excellent servant, but a terrible master, technology is also an excellent servant, but a terrible master. So that's the fact. The sad fact, very sad fact. But if you have used the internet for up to 4 years, and you cannot clearly and vividly point upwards of $10,000 you have made with what you have learned from the internet, you are an internet victim. Those of us that are internet producers are using the internet. For those that are internet victims, the victim is using you. My company, the Mayor of Housing, was formed in 2020. This smartphone and small recharge card and data made me a millionaire in housing. Then one of the people that I follow on this internet, YouTube, called Grant Cardone, he taught me about the 10x rule. That single book, the 10x rule, grew my business from millions of naira to billions of naira, and has made me one of the top 100 companies and personalities in Africa today. Just from that one thing I learned from Grant Cardone, took me from millions to billions. And I ate Grant Cardone's videos on YouTube like a madman. I used to watch some of his 8 hours video. So if you are not learning on internet, you should be earning. There are 2 things you should be doing on the internet: learning or earning. Those people that produce on the internet earn. You should be learning what you should use either on the internet or outside the internet to make money. But there's some good facts. The good fact is this: if you have data, you have internet connection, and you have focus, you have the school fees for the education in this new age. In this new age, the internet is the greatest university in the world. And for me, the best platform on the internet for education is YouTube. That's why we're having this live stream where you are learning. So if you have data, internet connection, and focus, the internet is your new school. And these three things, data, internet connection, and focus, are your school fees. If you can do that, you can learn anything on the internet. But remember, the internet is a terrible master, but an excellent slave. So to make it your slave, you need to subjugate it. That's to conquer the internet. And there are 7 things it takes to conquer the internet. The first thing is intent. Intent is that you must have an intention of why you are coming to the internet. The internet is like a market. You are foolish if you see the internet as just an entertainment place. It's a market. Some people come to market to watch, those dancers that come to market to perform, or those that do magic in the market. Some people come to buy tomato, pepper, but everybody comes with an intent. So there are 3 things you need to settle your internet intent. Number 1, what is your original need? What do you need from the internet? Nobody wakes up and enters market. You must need something, and sometimes you write a list. Number 2, how much of it do you need? If you want to be a graphic designer and you want to learn from the internet, do you want to be a novice designer or an expert designer? Then number 3 is why. Why do you want that thing you want? If it's entertainment, the most useless set of people on the internet, and that percentage is increasing every day, is what we call drifters. There's a book you need to read by Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. Most percentage of the people are just drifting through the internet. They are called scrollers, looking for entertainment, or dopaminic addicts. They are just addicted to the excitement of dopamine, and that percentage is the highest percentage, and those are the people being used by the internet. Second thing after the intent is your target. You must have a target, and the target is 3 things. What do you want from social media? Where do you want it? It's not jumping from Instagram to Facebook to YouTube. Number 3, you must have a strategy. The strategy is how, what platform, how do you do it? Is it after you close from work? Research has shown that 90% of workers these days are losing money for their employers through social media distraction during work. In fact, the research showed that an average company in the world loses about $10,000, not naira, dollars per staff to this thing called the distraction of social media. Then what is the outcome? If you have a strategy that you don't have an outcome, that this is what I want to achieve at the end of entering social media, you enter there and be drifting. And drifting is the devil's greatest weapon for making people useless. Number 4 thing you need to do in the 7 things you need to do to conquer the internet is clarity. You must be clear about those things I have talked about. You must be clear about your intent. You must be clear about your target. You must be clear about your strategy. Then there are 3 things you need to be clear about. The numbers. You're not going to the internet or social media just to learn. What do you want to learn? How much of it do you want to learn? I want to learn the skill of graphic designing. Is it just to learn basic graphic designing? Or I want to learn graphic designing until when I can be earning 100,000 from graphic designing. I want to learn AI to become an AI expert until AI can be giving me 100,000 a month. There must be numbers. Without numbers, you are fooling yourself. Numbers are the real target. Anything in this world apart from social media, anything you are targeting, you must have numbers. Numbers bring clarity. So social media, what do you need? You must have specificity. Number 2, clarity is example. If you want to be a YouTuber and you want to do comedy, who is your example? Is it Mark Angel? Is it AY? What strategy are you using? Are you using Mr. Funny strategy? There is no new thing on the internet. Whatever you want to do, somebody has already done it and is succeeding. Instead of looking for how to fool yourself on the internet and start drifting, look for the example and hold on to that person. Grant Cardone has been my example for the past 5 years. Recently, I met two great guys, Alex Homozy and Dan Mattel, on the internet. And they have become my new examples in addition to Grant Cardone. And the Law of Association say you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I spend more time with Alex Homozy, Dan Mattel, and Grant Cardone than the people living in the same house with me, because I spend time with these guys on YouTube. So who are your examples? Then number 3, very important, what's your measurement criteria? How do you know how you are succeeding? If you are not clear on these 3 things, you will drift on the internet, and the internet will not help you, and you end up being an internet victim. The 5th thing, self-discipline. The ability to do this number 1 to 4 I have told you depends on self-discipline. My best definition of self-discipline comes from Brian Tracy. And Brian Tracy defines self-discipline as the ability to make yourself do the things you need to do to succeed, whether you feel like it or not. We are in a generation where people follow feelings more than discipline. The opposite of feeling is self-discipline. So, and there are 3 things you need to maintain absolute self-discipline for. Number 1, you need to know your lane. Like my lane is YouTube. Facebook, I just go there to post and come out. Instagram, I go there to post and come out. YouTube is my university where I'm learning me. Know your lane and stay on your lane. And because it's so difficult to stay on your lane, you must review your lane regularly. An average flight does not fly in a straight line. An average flight loses his bearing in the air, but the pilot still brings it back. It will fly, the pilot will bring it back. It will go like this, the pilot will bring it back. That's how social media is. If anybody tells you they will enter social media, never get distracted, it's a lie. But if you have the self-discipline that you now pinch yourself and say, oh boy, I came here to learn. What am I doing in this pornographic site? You close it and leave and review. Oh, this is not why I came. Then the 6th, this is one of the most important things that you can do to conquer the internet. Very simple but very powerful. Produce more than you consume. Brian Tracy and Grant Cardone said something. He said, rich people don't watch the news. Rich people make the news. Those people that we watch on the news, Tinubu, in fact, internet now, Tinubu, president. Tinubu said it in one of the videos that he's not on internet. Some of those people, Mark Angel, that we watch every day, might not watch any internet. He's busy acting and producing for the internet. So for you to make it in the internet, there's one thing you take home from all this social media thing is producers earn from social media, consumers lose on social media. Producers have conquered social media, consumers are being conquered by social media. So you should produce more than you consume. Then only consume what you want to be. There are 3 things that determine what we are. The people we associate ourselves with. When you are on a page, you are associating with that page. The things you hear, what we hear, we become. The things we see, what we see, we become. So don't consume what you don't want to become. If you don't want to be an idiot, I don't want to mention names, but I hear some crazy people on internet doing some crazy things and people are following them and consuming them. They are becoming like them. One of them was invited recently by the police because he didn't know when he complicated himself by talking nonsense that is supposed to be a crime on the internet, and people are following him. Follow. Hey, follow. So if you don't want to become that thing you are consuming, don't consume it. So I deliberately follow people that I want to become like and consume their content. Then avoid overdose disease. There is nothing in this world that does not have overdose, including meat, including honey, including drugs that are supposed to cure you. If you take too much drugs, you die. So when you consume too much social media, you have entered overdose. But there's the beautiful thing in production, there's no limit to what you can produce on social media. Angel has conquered YouTube, but he has not conquered other platforms. He can keep producing. So there's no limit to production, but there's limit to consumption. Have you ever heard that any pharmaceutical company had problems because they produced too much drugs? Or have you ever heard that a patient died from overdose of consuming too much drugs? Social media is like a drug. Those that produce it are making money, and there's no limit to what you can produce. Those that consume it are taking drugs, and there's a limit to what you can consume. Then the final step, which is almost more important than the production step, is regulation and measurement. I have bad news for you guys. This live I'm doing is not real. All those things you people watch on social media, none of them is real. Even breaking news, because it's just a perspective of real life. That a house is burning and they showed you on social media. They might not show you after they quenched the fire and what happened after the fire. So there's no real life on social media. So don't compare yourself. The worst thing you can do in this world that is killing a lot of people and causing depression is to measure your life based on what you see on social media. The second thing is that deliberately regulate social media time. The quality of your life depends on the quality of the productivity of your life. So spend 80% of your life producing and 20% consuming or entertaining. So there's what we call the Pareto's principle. If your internet, you should spend 80% producing and 20% consuming. If you are on the social media to learn, spend 80% of your time watching educational video and 20% on entertainment. Like me, my entertainment is football. Sometimes I'll be where I'm watching football, I'll forget myself, I'll now remember, I have not watched that Mattel today. I have not watched anything on business. I'll just tune in a business video and start learning, because I'm supposed to learn 80% of the time and entertain myself 20% of the time. So, and you can make this easy by measuring and using prompts. If you want to enter Facebook, for instance, and you want to spend 10 minutes, set a 10 minutes alarm. After 10 minutes, the alarm will blow. You snooze it and say, let me do another 8 minutes. You are becoming a victim. And this is how you can conquer the internet. And our topic for today said, social media as a tool. When you conquer it, you use it as a tool. First thing is using social media as a tool for reformation. If you want to reform people, or you want to be reformed through social media, there are 3 ways the social media can reform you. Number 1 is trends. Please, if you are following trend, any trend you are following, you are becoming that trend. Though. There are 2 powerful things that determine our thoughts. What we hear, what we see, and who we are around determines what we think. So when you follow trends and those are not positive trends, you are becoming and getting reformed into that trend. The second thing is narratives. That's why you notice that our politicians know how to spin narratives on the internet, because they know the power of its reformative power. And then the third thing is movement. And one of the greatest things that have happened in Nigeria using the internet is the NSAS. It went from a trend to a narrative, from a narrative to a movement. That's the best example of social media for reformation. Social media as a tool for sales. The best place to generate leads is social media. Then the most powerful thing on social media everybody should try and master is content community. Through your content community, you can generate enough sales to last you a lifetime. One of the best sales secrets is positioning yourself as an expert and your content community already knows you as an expert in that field. That's why if you are selling hair, don't be doing content on how to make soup. If you are selling hair, be doing content on how to make hair so that they know you as a hair expert. You generate sales from your content community. That's why most times when you want to buy things online, you go to that person that always talks about the thing. And the greatest blessing of the social media is the tool of global virality. You can go global on your sales on social media where people from different parts of the world will be ordering your product. Then the last thing is social media as a tool for growth. I've already emphasized on education. Brian Tracy has what we call the E to E ratio. E is education, E is entertainment. Rich people spend 80% of their time on social media educating themselves, and 20% of their time on social media entertaining themselves. Poor people spend 80% of their time on social media entertaining themselves, and 0 to 20% educating. If you open this phone and you bought data from MTN and you finish that data without learning anything, the internet is using you. You are not using the internet. So education is the most wonderful tool for self-education is this. And as my mentor Jim Rohn will tell you that formal education, going to school, universities, will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. If you self-educate yourself on the social media, you can make a fortune. The second thing is mentorship. What I am doing today, ladies and gentlemen, is mentorship. I'm teaching my mentees how to use the social media as a tool for reformation, sales, and growth. And then the final thing for education is reference. Who do you want to be like? I used to tell people I'm the Grant Cardone of real estate in Africa. It's because I could look at Grant Cardone and see that he's a model for my education. But in all this, the problem is the devil. And there are 3 bad devils. The oldest devil is ignorance. If you are ignorant of the social media using you and how to conquer the social media, that's the first and the oldest devil. The second most dangerous devil is it doesn't matter. Oh, internet, social media doesn't matter. I don't even, I post, some people post rubbish on their profile. Do you know some people, before employing you, will go through your social media profile? So for those people that say it doesn't matter what you do on the internet, or it doesn't matter whether you're on social media or not, for the mayor of housing to be spending all this money and time on social media, it matters. So if you say it doesn't matter, that's the most dangerous devil. And that's the main thing we came here to tell you people. Devil don't finish you. But the latest devil, the one that is so dangerous, is distraction. Distraction is the greatest devil. And that's the latest devil. If you can avoid these 3 devils, you will be productive on the internet. But the greatest news is that social media is freedom. In fact, this is the part I can shout, hey, lele, pimpy, because social media gives me the freedom to be free. But the bad news is that unmoderated freedom is captivity. So social media has held a lot of people bound in serious captivity because they are not moderating this freedom. Today, we are hoping after this you can moderate your freedom. And the greatest freedom is the freedom to produce more. If when you didn't have this phone, you were producing 10,000, and you have this phone, you are still producing 10,000, you are a bunkum. This phone and the social media gives you freedom to produce more, and that's the greatest freedom. And the Bible says that he that knows that you can produce more with this phone and does not produce it will be punished more than those that didn't know. Our fathers didn't have this phone, so they can be excused for being poor and not producing more. You have this and you have social media. After today, you are not producing more. You'll be punished more. But more than that, a lot of suicide, a lot of depression is happening. In fact, there's a new disease. It's called digiphrenia. Digiphrenia is the disease of mental disorientation that comes from consuming too much digital content. To the extent that even this cocoa melon for children has been found to cause schizophrenia in babies. So you will not be happy by consuming so much internet. You'll be happy by regulating social media. All these things I've said, only those that do it will be happy, because he said, if you know these things and don't do them, sad are you. If you know these things and do them, happy are you. And with that, I've come to the conclusion. Social media is an excellent tool of reformation, sales, and growth, but a terrible master of reformation, sales, and growth. If you allow social media to become your master, your reformation, your sales, and growth will suffer. But if you turn it to a tool by conquering it, your reformation, sales, and growth will improve. The education is important. The learning is important. The stage for us to produce and showcase our product is important. But the greatest thing that the internet has done for and social media for people all over the world is two things. Number one, for your voice to be heard. There are a lot of things that would have been impossible before now because our voices could not be heard. The greatest reformational movement that's happened over the social media in Nigeria is the NSAS movement. Somebody's voice echoed somewhere. Another person complemented that voice. And before you know it, it became a trend. From a trend, it became a narrative. From a narrative, it coalesced into a movement that shook the country. And I'm sure we're at the precipice of another movement. So for the first time in a long time, voices can be magnified through the social media. That a young copper just complained about life as a copper, and she was threatened by NYSC. And before you knew it, it became a movement that led to a 30 days rant. And not only was she exonerated as a copper, but Omoyole Sowore wouldn't have gone to escort her to NYSC camp if she didn't have social media to magnify her voice. So for the first time in the history of the world, our voices can be magnified. But guess what? The strongest thing in the world is our words. The rubbish we say will also be magnified. So instead of being on social media, bantering and doing rubbish with our voice, why don't you put just like your best foot forward, your best voice forward? And the second and the most powerful thing that the internet has done is that when you go to embassies and go to the Mediterranean Sea between Morocco and Spain and see Africans dying in their droves and see people in embassies trying to cross the border because the world is made up of borders called countries, and you need a document and an approval called visas for you to cross borders. But the social media requires no visa, requires no traveling, requires no risk of crossing the Mediterranean Sea or the Sahara Desert to go to any greener pasture. But through this, you can cross all borders in the world. When you trend right here, somebody in Japan, somebody in Germany might resonate with that thing you have produced. So instead of producing rubbish because you think you are producing for your local environment, the internet helps you cross borders without visas. Why not dare to be world class? Dare to be international. Dare to only dole out world class materials on this social media space. That when somebody from England will see what somebody from Ikota Abasi did, the person will shout, wow! That's the power the internet gives us and the social media. So before you come on to social media to produce, become so good at what you want to produce that you autograph it with the signature of excellence. And people will say, this man, this woman, this boy, this girl, I would like to know where she's from. And they will say it's Nigeria. We might not have the leaders that will give us the good image, but we can have content creators, influencers that will not only create trends, but they will shape the narrative. They will not only shape the narrative, but they will create movements on the internet with the quality and the excellence of content they create on the internet. Don't just learn from the internet to make money and become a better version of yourself. Learn from the internet and social media to make money and also create a better trend, narrative, and movement on the internet to make a better internet of itself. And that's the most noble thing you can do, to use the internet as a tool for reformation, growth, and sales. Thank you very much.
To invest in the new banana island called the Mayor of Housing.
It's super duper amazing that you found my content valuable enough for you to watch till the end. Only 5% of exceptional people do that. You're exceptional, and I deeply love and appreciate you. Don't just watch to learn, watch to take action. And the first action is subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of our daily value action. Remember, only doers are winners.